Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UKLC for the Tower Challenge here at Week 4, as MnM are the ones guarding their spot at the top, and Diabolus have climbed their way up, and they are now looking to challenge them. And I think, every one of our Tower Challenge games have been insane bloodbaths, and I want that trend to continue because I want some exciting games. I want some fisticuffs. I want, action, Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree. I absolutely want that. I want both teams giving it the absolute all. I know they will. This is the first time there's been no LEC sister teams involved at all.
Yeah.
They're out the picture, so there's a lot on the plate, and I know both Diabolus and MnM, the rosters. I mean, I spoke to Monk, the AD carry for MnM, before the split, and he was like, I am out for LEC sister team blood. He wants to dominate the scene. He wants to take them out, and I know Yusa is equally as confident. Both teams will absolutely want to win this next game, so question is, who'll take it?
We don't know at the moment, but before we get into that game, we're going to pass it over to Sin to break down our rosters for our fourth and final game of Week 4.
Of 4 weeks and 4 different tower champions if Diabolus pick this one up. And they're looking pretty strong after that last performance. They've been pretty strong all day, but they've got MnM, the team that took down Fnatic, to face. It's the team that took down Excel versus the team that took down Fnatic. And it's going to start off with Muma's in the top lane, Nulty jungle, Shibs mid, and Monk and Shogun in the bot lane. Monk generally has been the carry like we've talked about, but Shibs stepped up decently. Muma's played well as well. And thinking about this though, once again with Diabolus, if they win, this is 4 different champions in 4 weeks. And we had a similar thing in 4 champions in 4 tournaments, and we've still got an extra 3 weeks to go. But it is going to be Kerberos in the top lane, who's been that more carry-oriented player today. They've put more points, more of the pressure on the map into him. Monkiz and Krogson, who have been a huge 2v2 duo. It's the mid-jungle looking down towards that bot side. It is Yusa and Hardo, who have been a lot more self-sustainable this time around, as we're going to take a look at the Enclave Twitter to see their opinions on being knocked out in the finals, but it's going to be interesting to see how, again, we talk about mid-jungle duos of the Monkiz plus Krogson, and they came out as the weaker of the 2 last time around, but still are able to put up a decent amount of pressure. If Nulty, who had a great game yesterday, and Shibs, who also performed really well on the Aurelia, can step up and take them down. And, you guys, what do you think?
I think we're going to have some kills in this League of Legends game. I think
It's a bold, sweeping statement, which I love because they're easy to make, and it's easy not to be wrong.
I mean, if we have a game without kills, and I'm wrong in that statement, like...
But I think there were a lot of good points there from Sin. I think, the mid-jungle duo of Enclave was so strong, and we gave so much credit to them, and then they just sort of got destroyed by Diabolus' mid-jungle duo. So that really asks questions, is what can Nulty and Chibs do? Because Chibs has been fairly consistent, but Nulty, he's been really hit or miss. He's had some great games, he's had some Elise games, is the best way I can put it.
Oh boy, and like Monkiz is a player who's going to be able to punish him. You know, he went toe-to-toe with Wyzik, who's an early game jungler.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, I feel like Monkiz is going to be the person to punish him, but we have some tweets to bring up and have a little look at everyone talking about this game. Hopefully. There we are. Good week for us overall, but we fall to Diabolus. Take that tower, lads. GG, well played, boys. Nice to see some friendliness here. Toast those marshmallows. We'll dine with them next week. Oh,
Yeah, some nice.
there was like
nice
it was quite wholesome, and then it was like murder MnM
But
pudding.
it's still rare because normally we get so much flame between the teams, just roasting each other, literally. And that was quite civil, quite nice.
Yeah, and then it ends with like, you better beat him up.
You better kill the marshmallows.
Yeah. And those marshmallows do not want to be killed. They want to ninja their way through this game.
Yeah, which, fair play. They've done pretty good so far.
And only one team has actually been able to hold the tower for a small amount of time, and that was Fnatic, because they beat MnM last week,
But then
and then they lost it
that?
the next week.
Oh, yeah.
But they've held the tower for the longest, technically.
True, they held it for the longest.
and they've
then
held it the most, twice now.
they fell off the tower in spectacular fashion.
Yeah.
It's like, in Lord of the Rings, that scene where he jumps off the top of
Oh, what's the tower? The big white city.
Minas Tirith.
Yes.
And he jumps off the top on fire and just falls down. That's what Fnatic did this week. There's no other way to describe it.
They landed on XL as well. Static at the bottom.
Yeah, literally. Poor guys.
I'm really ready to get into picks and bans. Oh boy.
I can't stop just crucifying them because, you know, I mean, if one of them had fallen, it would have been like, okay, that's a bit rough. But the fact that they both fell and there was such a lot of people came in the split and were like, these teams
lost twice in a row now.
Yeah.
And they brought Sing in as well, you know.
He played so well.
At least Fnatic haven't pulled out like any of their sister team players yet.
Can you imagine if the full like LEC Fnatic roster came in and they lost against like MnM and he was just like...
They can't actually do that though. Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't have your full. Yeah, but like,
I would love to see it.
I mean, you know, I feel next week coming back, we'll probably see both of those teams definitely hungry for blood. I'm excited to see who's everyone's playing because, I mean, XL have to redeem themselves. Fnatic, it was a bit of a whoopsie-daisy, but like, you know, they've done well enough to go, okay, we're allowed one. We're allowed one. XL, it's like, it's after in week 5. I mean, it's only a 7-week tournament.
Yeah,
they have to like actually put their foot down a bit.
We might not just be guaranteed to get into playoffs because if they, I mean, okay, losing a couple of games isn't that big of a deal for any team. It happens. Even the best teams in the world will lose some games.
Yeah.
But if they were to miss out on playoffs, that would be, because they haven't missed out on playoffs in a long time. I mean, I played with them, made playoffs 1, 2, 3 times in a row, and then they made playoffs without me 2 times in a row. For them to miss it after all that, especially the fact that they're now in the LEC, it's not happened yet, but oh, it would be crazy.
We're in the picks and bans, so let's focus on today's game. On this big tower challenge is MnM taking on Diabolus. MnM on that blue side. Yasuo going to be banned away here.
And all the Diabolus fans should be very happy with that. No, don't have to see Yusa get his hands on the Yasuo. I think, to me, I don't see the issue with this Yasuo because Kroxin isn't the sort to play Yasuo. He plays mages, we just haven't seen him touch it. So it's not really a flex. And oh god, I would not want to see K-Ross in Yasuo.
If I'm Diabolus, I'd actually really like to ban the Aurelia here. Chibs has had some really good games.
That'd be a fair one.
And actually, I think it's a fair ban here.
Something we haven't mentioned, I don't think today, is Silas has been global banned from competitive. Probably should have mentioned that earlier, you know.
Due to a series of errors and bugs and
series of bugs, you know, small indie company and all that. So Silas won't be able to be picked. And obviously that's why we've seen it not show up at all.
Yeah, because obviously a lot of the players have been putting a lot of focus on that champion, but you're holding up there, buddy. You're really struggling, aren't you?
I'm right. You're the one who seemed to struggle when I read that comment.
Boy,
we love memes here in the UKLC. Bit of banter.
This stuff doesn't matter.
It's just a bit of banter, a bit of back and forth. Look, they're banning
champions. It's the 23-minute game we're going to have following this.
We've seen these bans before. You know, we have the Jason Illusion.
Doesn't want to play into another bloody Jarvan.
Yeah, the standards table. Zoe getting banned away because that champion is ridiculous.
Yeah, all right.
And not fun. As we saw Warzy dominate on it earlier. And now it comes to the picks. So the Galio is still available. That's something that has got through the draft phase. Could see Shogun to go on that. He was a fan of the Thresh. We saw him have great success on that against Fnatic. So there are these options if they want to delve into support first. And please, come on, it makes me right. It makes me right.
You are right.
This is why I do this job.
See,
not because of my jokes, because no one laughs at them, but I sometimes get predictions right.
You did get that one right, indeed. Let's see what Diabolus is going to look to pick up. That Vladimir is open to them. They have the Rise. I probably wouldn't want to first pick the Rise, blind pick the Rise for that Rex side that they've been picking consistently here.
I mean, to me, the draft I could imagine from Diabolus would be like a Rek'Sai Ezreal. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's where they went last game. And that would make a lot of sense to me. You could take another support here instead. But, I mean, the options are open. What you wanted to do. Because Yusa's been pretty solid in that Ezreal so far. We saw both Academy teams, I believe, pick the Ezreal in the game they got knocked out. So definitely not the most consistent pick for every team, but I think Diabolus have played around the spikes pretty well.
Question is what is Monk going to be picking up? Monk will carry, you know, saw him on that Kog'Maw into an Ezreal, you know, you can poke, but you can't, like, you don't have as much kill threat, really.
Yeah.
Until you hit that late game point where you look to one-shot him with the AP hybrid build, but at that point, Monk was able to shred through people, and even X-Maddie kind of shifted into him a few times.
And the crucial thing is that...
Oh, no, it was Anax.
Although only Enclave have played the Nico so far, it has been kind of left available if other teams want to play it. We do see that Aurelia, as you talked about, Chibs has had great success on it, and still a possible flex. And we did see Haddow pick up that Alistair to go with the Rek'Sai. So rounding out that support jungle combo, I think they've had a lot of success in that. A lot of CC, so if they do lock someone down...
I'm fairly certain all 3 wins are on Chibs with the Aurelia.
Yeah.
So he's been looking really, really fantastic on it. Nolty probably does want to avoid the Elise.
Sejuani.
Yeah, I feel like that's a bit better.
I think the reason it works so well with the Aurelia is because the Aurelia can really easily dive in, instantly start stacking that passive, and you know Krogson likes to play mages. It's not fun if you're playing a mage, especially when Lysandre's off the table, and you can get locked up so quickly by this Aurelia Sejuani combo. So for me, if I'm Krogson, I'd be wondering, what am I going to play into this? I think with this third pick, you might even have to lean towards something like take the Vladimir if you want a good lane for Kerberos and ban away counters, or even for Krogson himself, because that might be the one pick that can survive. But we'll go back to the Orianna, which he's played a lot before.
Does offer a nice team fight here for
Yeah,
Diabolus.
it has good team fight, it has good shielding when you get dived onto, but I'm still a little bit concerned about what Nulty and Chibs can do. We'll have to see how much pressure they apply.
Well, we're into ban phase 2. Let's have a look at what Diabolus are looking to take off the board. 80 carries have been untouched so far, so maybe we see something like the Ezreal get taken away. That's the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, for me, if I was Diabolus, I'd ban Kog'Maw Kai'Sa. If I was MnM, I'd probably look at potentially the Vladimir from Kerberos, and then maybe the Ezreal away from Musa. But, I mean, it's up to them what they want to take away. I think definitely saying, right, Monk, we're going to get you off these carries is a smart move. There's a really solid team fight already coming out from Diabolus.
Yusa could actually whip out the Vayne as well. We have seen it already here.
Wasn't a big fan of it.
No, but he
did.
He likes to flex.
They do what I said, and they ban away the Vladimir. Makes a lot of sense. I think, to me, the Kai'Sa, it's just the pick that Monk really falls back on. And, again, they played that in the game they had against Fnatic. The Aurelia dived in, they had the Kai'Sa to follow. So I would want to take that away as well. And they're actually going to go for the Tristana, which is interesting to me, because Monk has definitely leaned more towards that Kai'Sa. So it may be that Yusa himself wants to take it.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense to me if they want to take it on this first red side
Yorick
pick.
is open still.
Yorick is open. It's a good pick for Kerberos. If you really want to target that split push, then that's what you want to ban right now.
I feel like your ban is Ezreal Yorick here, but whatever one doesn't get banned, I think Diabolus just first pick.
Yeah.
Coming out of this ban phase, and just taking the Kai'Sa away, so both
They'll
open.
take the Kai'Sa. So the Ezreal's available, which is fine. I mean, the Kai'Sa's an alpha Monk too. We said Yusuf probably left it open for himself. This means now in this position, you could potentially take the Yorick for yourself. I feel like if you leave it to a last pick, sure, you can counter, which they might be going for, but the risk is Mummus might be able to pick up himself. And do you have something that can answer that Yorick, is the question I have for Kerberos.
Fairly low win rate here within the UKLC.
Yeah, it has been, and I think a big part of that, where we saw the Academy teams pick it both this week, both can lose on it.
Yeah.
And it's a sort of pick where you have certain item win conditions where you spike and you have to make the pressure, and if you get too far in, it's not going to do that well. And the thing is, it's difficult to play as well, because you can't just fire mystic shots at the Sejuani and expect to win. And that is pretty interesting.
That is very interesting. We have seen some mixed success on the Kai'Sa with 2 games,
Kalista.
1 win, 1 loss.
Not the
Kalista.
Yeah, so this is a very aggressive bot lane. Thresh Kalista is like going back to when Kalista was super meta. That is so strong. It's very difficult to play into, because if Hado gets flayed back once, you start stacking those spears. It's hard really to do anything. The issue with it, however, is the fact that you're going up against an Alistar.
Yep.
If the Alistar combos you, there's not much you can do to outplay that.
Okay, I feel like this is a Yorick here for Curve, because it's probably going into the Aurelia, unless it's in that Rise top and they flex it to catch Kerberos off guard here.
I think the reason they've gone for the Aurelia is Aurelia's a decent matchup into Yorick. You can Q through the ghouls and stuff, just stack through them, and your trading power is actually okay. So it makes sense if they were like, we have this prepared if you want to go that top, and it looks like Kerberos is going to go for that, but it's not quite as an easy lane as we've seen for other people on Yorick. Aurelia can definitely hold her own. If they put that Aurelia top, there's still the option to put the Rise top.
60% ban rate, 100% win rate. We're seeing so much priority put onto this pick, and Kerberos once again going to get his hands on it, and he looked fantastic last time we saw him on that Yorick, split pushing for days.
Yeah.
Heavily impactful. Got that big 1v3 off as well. And I mean, looking at these comps, what are we expecting? What are our conditions? What are we looking for MnM to do to win this game? And the same can be said for Diabolus.
I mean, for MnM, you have to get on this backline. It really comes down to who botches the engage. If there's a good engage from either side and they manage to kill the carries, it's going to go great. If you get a shockwave onto the Kalista, great. But if you botch it, the Kalista will kite you out and you will lose. And then it works the other way. If you can get on top of the Orianna or the Ezreal, you're going to do great. Otherwise, it's a bit shaky. So it's quite a tricky one, because both teams aren't going to be too keen on engaging. I think the advantage definitely goes to Diabolus, because they have the Alistar and the Orianna, which offers a lot. But the split push is going to be a bit of a dicey one, because I think in the later stages, Yorick's going to come out ahead. But the issue is we've seen Curve fall really far behind before. And if you're up against a Rise, he scales pretty well. You can't just go, okay, I've fallen behind now, he's a Jarvan, eventually I'll just take over the game. the Rise is going to be powerful enough just to keep you at bay. And if they get a big lead from that, it might get tipped onto MnM's favor for that split.
Well, the question is can Diabolus take their spot at the top of the tower for the first time for this team within the UKLC? Or will MnM retain on top of that tower? And then if that is the case, again, we start next week with another 5-game day.
Love it. Love
nice.
The extra League of Legends. Can't get enough. So we'll go in this game, and I mean, I feel like a lot of games, I'm like, this team has an advantage here. This team has an advantage here. But this one, both teams have a bit dicey win conditions that kind of counteract each other.
Well, before all the action starts to break out, I do believe we have ourselves an interview standing by. Alex from MnM.
Who is the manager, goes by the name Officer Naughty.
Hello, Officer Naughty.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Good.
Pretty swell.
I miss casting you as a support, by the way.
Oh, yeah, my one season as a semi-pro player, Arena Clash,
Yeah,
second
man.
place. Yeah.
How are you feeling about this game? Obviously, pretty solid start to the week, you know, taking out Fnatic and getting yourself at the top of the tower. Now, you've got Diabolus as a team. Is this kind of what you expected after you saw XL fall? Did you think it would be Diabolus for the team you were going to go up against, or did you think it may be someone else?
Well, I feel like if you'd asked me this question at the start of the split, I would have said yes. But from the games that have happened in UKLC so far, pretty much nearly any team can get to the top, to the finals at least. So we thought maybe Diabolus was obviously like the smart choice, but like we really were prepared for any one of those 4 teams to make it.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's been very hit or miss. How do you feel in terms of, because a lot of people have said, you know, the whole Monk will carry thing.
Yeah.
But who do you think has been the sort of person that's impressed you most from your roster? Who's carried the most compared to your expectations?
Well, I think what's so good about this roster is that everyone has their like roles and everyone knows what their job is in the team. But if I was have to say someone who's impressed me the most, it would have to be Chibs. I think the guy's come from being a rookie playing no competitive games at all, like before here, to like the hours that he puts in with our coaches, staff, and our analysts. Like the drive he has to improve as a player is just like phenomenal. The guy's really putting the effort, so he's really impressed me the most, I think.
And kind of as a follow-up to that point, looking at like the roster you've built here, obviously at the beginning of the season, we really, you know, the main storyline, the main kind of point about the Diabolus roster was it was all Yusa. It was the Yusa show. And while I wouldn't say he's taken a backseat, what was kind of like the what was going on when you decided to kind of start putting Curb back onto carries and moving him off the tanks and all that?
We're talking to the MnM manager.
Yeah, I don't know much about
I am
Curb,
in my own world. I am so sorry. What the hell am I doing?
Right, I'll take the next question instead.
I've done 4 games in a row. You take the next question.
Right.
Well, I want to know, what do you think they did to make Curb a carry player?
Oh, I think Curb makes himself a carry player, doesn't he? He's a 1v9 machine in solo queue, so that probably transfers onto competitive games.
Right,
And who on this Diabolus roster are you kind of looking at? Who's kind of the scariest player for you guys here?
Like we feel like the jungle mid lane combo is pretty strong. Like I feel like those two have played together quite a bit, and then obviously you can never sleep on Kerberos, so the guy comes out of nowhere, doesn't he? With just wins games, like just from he could be like 0-10, he'll just win a game. So yeah, you can't sleep on Kerberos, but mostly worried about I think their jungle mid.
Awesome. Thank you very much, mate. We will speak to you soon, hopefully. Best of luck in the game, and speak to you later.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. See ya.
I'm such a dope. I am such a dope.
Anyway, let's focus on what's going on in this game right now.
Oh,
Must have to be in a bit of trouble.
Getting a gank here from Monkeys. There's going to be the knock up onto Mumus. They're looking for the damage. The spade comes down, and ferocious bite. Monkeys picks up the kill.
And then kisses his bicep to celebrate. I mean, Mumus was looking for the long flash, and this is the issue. If you get caged up by the Yorick as this Rise, you're not that great at taking it out. You have pretty slow attack speed, takes a long time, and then it's pretty easy for the Rek'Sai to follow you with that tunnel. Good moves, and he's just TP'd back up, but he's on the tower, so I think he's going to be safe for now. And we talked about the split advantage that Kerberos would had. How, yes, we've seen him fall behind early before, and it might be a bit tricky if he does this game, but I mean, if you're going to come out ahead on the Yorick, that's great. That's exactly what you want.
Well, good start for him as Tear's been picked up onto Mummus. It was curved now
by
the Sheen.
Yeah, ouch.
These spades are going to hurt.
What do you think that would feel like? Go back to that. Getting hit by a spade.
Probably not getting hit by a spade, yeah.
That's fair. I think that's a good show.
I mean, he hits the minions so hard, but it digs the grave.
Yeah.
And places a tombstone. That's going to hurt. And now he strapped a sword to the spade as well.
Yeah. A glowing blue sword as well.
Yeah. That's going to hurt.
Absolutely. And we do see a second glowing blue sword picked up by the Ezreal. That's fallen quite a bit behind in CS, and this is what I was talking about. This Kalista Thresh lane is so strong in the 2v2. I think that Houston had to play pretty carefully to sort of survive this laning phase. And sure, Ezreal's always going to be strong when he hits his item spikes, and the Alistar's always going to be that great engage. But in this lane, I think we really have to be careful because the all-in potential is very real. And Mummus actually trying to fight off 1v2 against Monkeys and Kerberos. I think the flash was used by Monkeys and Mummus there. And Mummus just managed to shrug it off. And now, actually a big disadvantage because Monkeys has spent so much time top lane. Kerberos isn't level 6, but Mummus is because of the leeched XP. And that means with no Maiden, Kerberos actually getting pushed in a tower.
You can see there's a small CS deficit growing in that mid lane. Monkeys, while he's put a lot of attention into the top lane, is still pretty comfortable here for the moment. Does get spotted out by the Scar's Bloom. The largest problem I do see here for Diabolus is in this bot lane, as Yusa is falling behind in CS, but he has got the Collectomancy. He is the Ezreal, so he can just get that passive gold nice and easy to try and keep himself at least equal with Monk. But we know what it's like when Monk gets ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing, is that you expect this cluster to win out in lane. It's just the fact that if you pin this carry down, you can definitely punish it.
Alrighty, well, you guys at home were voting away on the Twitch for who you thought was going to win this game, and 60% of you are in the favor of Diabolus. You voted Enclave in the last game, so it looks like you guys have been sold by this team.
Yeah, I mean, I see I see Kerberos on the Yorick, and my vote is sold, so I can understand that one.
It's sold, is it?
Yeah.
He bought you.
Yeah, with his great Yorick plays.
I mean, he's won me over with them, I'm not going to lie. He played fantastically well, but Chibs is on this Aurelia. He's been so comfortable and so competent on this champion for the last few weeks. Every time we've seen him on it, he's been massively impactful. Even in that game where it was the kind of Monk Cogmore show, he was such an effective frontline, so annoying and such a nuisance that Monk just remained untouched the whole time.
Yeah, and even when he had a rough laning phase, he manages to come back and do a lot later, so got to give credit to that. And we've actually seen an all-in here. Shockwave being used.
Does not have that ultimate, did already use the Vanguard's Edge, and he's forced to run away. Does hold on to the flash, though.
Bit of a back and forth. No summoners, but the ults used by both mid laners, and both Monkeys and Nolty just in the area, sniffing things out, ready if something more was to happen. But for now, been quite a tame game.
Yeah, we've seen definitely that proactive play by Monkeys to start the game out, and then since then, MnM definitely not wanting to kind of throw anything out the window, so playing a tamer game. The Tiamat has now been finished up onto Chibs, got himself that new Magic Mantle as well, while Curb has that friend with him now.
That's the Maiden. Start draining souls.
What do you make of the new Yorick skin, the cat one?
I mean, I'm a big cat fan, so I think it's pretty cool. I always like because I feel like Sun skin, like, don't get me wrong, I like the really cool skins, but it's nice to have some skins that don't take themselves super seriously.
Just like everyone when you're casting.
You really forced that.
I had it, I worded really well in my head, and then I said it completely differently from how I said it in my head.
Yeah.
Look, dude.
You're reaching.
Look, dude. You've been chilling there in the control room for the first 2 games.
I'm untouchable.
I've been out here hitting that grind.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really relate. I don't know what it's like to cast 4 games in a row.
You never do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
5 games, however, like I did yesterday. No
yeah. Tough day.
That's all right for me. I'm not the one to sort of sit and complain. I just take it in my stride.
Okay. Approaching that 10-minute mark here is Chibs. Looks like a big chunk. Cogson gets stunned up, but Chib's
It's
not
just
willing
frustrating.
to
It
commit.
feels like, I mean, we know Krogson's at this early game stage, but he seems to do no damage. But speaking of damage,
Shogun, hook gets dodged away by Kerberos. To still have that flash, that early rotation. May force Kerb's flash out here as Nolty looking to get his hands onto that Rift Herald. First Drake being a Cloud Drake, so Diabolus a little bit slow to the punch here as MnM looking to accelerate their lead as Haddo goes in, does get the stun connected onto him by Haddo, looking to stun him in place, and Krogson has that shockwave available. Nolty forced to jump away, and Diabolus not going to gift up the Rift Herald quite yet.
yeah, so they do make the move to cover that. The crucial thing is Kerberos is still on the top side, whereas Mummis is bot and doesn't quite have his TP yet. It's coming up soon though. So it means Diabolus is able to pressure. It was a good move from MnM. They picked up the Dragon. They instantly want to transition their bot lane to top side so they can contest this Rift Herald, but Diabolus don't let the game get out of their hands that easily.
Oh, Shogun. Trying to see if he can lasso the cow.
He can't.
He
Not
cannot.
yet.
Unfortunately, he did miss it.
He did make some great plays last time he played Thresh up against Fnatic, but haven't seen that quite come out yet. One of the advantages, because of all that time bought, Mummis able to chunk away on this tower pretty heavily on the bot side.
Yeah, doing some serious work here. Working his way towards that Archangels as well, which is going to be the first kind of major step towards Rise hitting late game. And we saw what Krogson could do on that champion in the last game. That big cataclysm when he got caught in by 3 members, and him and Kerb just stepped up to the plate.
And yeah, just turned it around. Monkeys does see this, you know, he has a ward in the pit and he has that tremor sense. And it looks like they're trying to make a move to collapse here.
They got that shove in the mid lane as well, so
Monk could be in
Chip's
trouble
a little
actually.
bit slow. This might be the shockwave. Actually, they're turning it around. Krogson forced to use the cleanse. That's going to be the Vanguard's edge onto 1. Monkeys into the middle of the fight, and that's going to be used to picking him up. A 1-for-1 trade so far. Now Monkeys is chasing for more kills here. Monk's running away. Nolty's there. The flash is used. In comes the Realm of the Flay back, and MnM are able to disengage, only losing 1 member.
Very back and forth, quite dicey, but in the end, it's a 1-for-1. That hook from Shogun, crucial to finding Krogson on the back end. Both teams commit a lot, but I think Diabolus come out ahead just because of the HP advantages they have. And so they'll be able to take the Rift Herald off the back of that.
Kerb brings Maiden to help take this objective as well.
So helpful, thank you, Maiden.
I don't think anyone ever, you know, thanks Maiden enough.
I agree.
Who picks it up?
Like,
oh,
we
Haddo gets it.
credited Kerberos for that whole game that he played on Yorick, but we didn't credit the Maiden.
Yeah.
So
Well done, bots.
I'm now going to take that opportunity to head to the other side of the map and pick up that Dragon. Does mean they'll be weak on the top side though. Diabolus instantly pulling the trigger with that Rift Herald. Chibs is stepping up. This could be a bit dicey for him.
This could be very dicey. He has no HP. Looking for the stun. Does land onto Monkeys. That's going to be the charge. Throws out the W. Yusa jumps in the Lantern to safety. He's able to walk out, but Kerb joining up with the rest of his team. Chibs, Vanguard's Edge is available soon, and the hook lands onto a minion, not a champion, and Yusa should be able to pick up this last plate.
They're going to force him back, but they get a lot of damage on that tower considering this plating was still up, and it forces MnM to move a lot of members to the top side just to defend. Does push him into a gold lead, crucially. About 1.3k ahead for Diabolus right now. Large in part to that turret plate they just got in the top side, but also helps that they have an Ezreal who just picks up gold passively.
Yeah. He's got the Iceborne finished up as well. It's just yeah, the nice thing about the Ezreal, that cost-effective build, you know, everything's quite cheap. Once he hits those 2 items on the mana mune, he's actually
I mean, one of the things you saw last time Chibs played the Aurelia into Fnatic, X-Mighty went to Sivir, and it felt like as soon as the Aurelia just queued to him, you could just auto him to death. Ezreal has a lot more mobility and kiting potential, I feel. You know, he can use his Arcane Shift over a wall, he can slow him with the Iceborne Gauntlet, so I think definitely in a better position to survive against this Aurelia's pressure in those team fights. Right now we see Houston had to continuing to try and pressure that top lane tower, which is very low. Monk and Shogun push mid in, where Krogson's just sitting wave clear. Now they're trying to roam up, but they might actually be caught out here.
Well, Haddo does have that headbutt pulverized. Monk actually just going really aggressive here. Gonna land it on the Truth Shot, comes in and Nolty's entered in. The box is thrown down, the shockwave goes wide, but Monk will fall to Krogson here. And Chibs not able to find the stun. One quick pick for Diabolus.
Overconfident from Monk, decided he was going to make the play happen, but hook
Oh,
lands.
Vanguard's Edge, and in goes Chibs. He has the Qs, he has the resets, the Lantern's on, and Chibs jumps in. Yusa goes down, and 2 quick kills in return to MnM.
Just as I was saying, overconfident by Monk, Yusa steps up and takes a hook to the face. Good play from MnM to turn that one around, and Chibs there for the cleanup.
You see Curb now trying to get onto this turret. The Realm Whoop's coming in. In comes Mummus, just clears out the Maiden.
Watch how much
and the
gold
minion wave.
he got, because he got the gold from the Maiden as well. And then he just destroyed that minion wave.
Ryze is a very satisfying champion to clear waves with.
Yeah. Monk has actually been spotted out here. He's going to have to try and make a great escape.
Yeah, he's not actually got all that much
tunnel get interrupted there.
Tunnel has been interrupted. Krogson can come in with the shields. Monk is just going to be gifted that kill. Shut down. 450 gold in his pocket. That should help him towards that Blade the Ruined King.
Yeah, absolutely. Just Monk is overstepping. No reason for him to be there. Got caught out and then gives over, crucially, a shutdown to the Callista. Who, after the last play, I was a bit concerned, but he's going to start to get back in that game. And we talk about this 2-item spike for the Ezreal. Callista's 2-item spike is pretty mean as well.
Well, Eustace trying to hold up this tower versus Chips. Hado is there as well, but they're both a little bit terrified of him at this point.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's completely understandable. The Aurelia is very scary. Sitting on that shield in the TM map is enough to burst down. Hado actually caught out with no ult.
This might just be Hado getting himself cooked here, but Chips is headbutted under the tower. Instantly Q's out once again, and Nolty is gifted the kill. Turret does go down for Curb in the bot lane as well, so Diabolus able to pull back some gold as we do look at this gold lead. Only 100 separates these teams at 16 minutes.
Hado just overconfident, walks too far forward with no ult, gets taken out, and this happened a lot when they were playing against Fnatic. Hado just overstepped quite a bit. Actually, no, it wasn't against Fnatic, it was against Excel, sorry. Hado just overstepped, got punished pretty heavily, and if he keeps doing it this game, it might actually raise some questions as to whether that's coming in. But now they're going down on a Mummus.
Well, Mummus already been knocked up, taking a lot of damage from that Spade, and he's going to go down as Monkeys picks up the kill.
Starting to get worrying, this Yorick. A lot of sideway pressure, and Monk is doing work to show up, get that kill.
Unfortunately for Mummus, he's not at the silly shield state.
Yeah. I mean, even if he was, I'm not sure how much he could do when the Yorick gets into melee range. Yorick now picked up that Triforce. That is a big spike for the Spadey boy.
He's not even got a spade with his skin, it's a staff.
Yeah.
I feel like that would hurt just as much.
Depends what the staff's made of. Because he's Arclight, so...
I feel like it's quite like it's one of those kind of thick stars with metal bits.
Yeah.
It's quite like, it's like
that
a
would
holy.
hit. That'd probably hit more than a spade.
It's probably heavier.
Yeah.
Well, the spade does have an edge, so...
Depends how you hit. Are you hit with the flat of the spade or you hit with the edge?
I feel you hit with the flat of the spade until you get the Triforce, and then you start hitting with the edge.
Ouch. Yeah, that could be fair.
The Triforce actually just gives him the intelligence to know, oh, if I turn the spade sideways, it actually is a piercing weapon, a slashing weapon.
+3 intelligence start thanks to that Triforce. You do see the dragon picked up by Monkeys. Just an Ocean. Fairly non-impactful dragons so far in this game. 2 clouds in Ocean, not the ones you're sort of write home about. But both teams keen to pick them up because they know the late game's a bit dicier in this one. I mean, based on how the game's going now, with the Yorick this far ahead, I'm starting to get a bit concerned about Diabolus's, about MnM's ability to withstand the split push. But if they get on top of the Orianna, they still have a lot of dive potential. I think it's going to get harder and harder, especially when you have the front line of this Alistar and Rek'Sai.
Well, you are seeing Diabolus now pushing into this mid lane. And this front line, like you said, just means MnM can't really do anything to compete with it. They didn't have the resources around. Mummus in that top lane trying to catch the waves, trying to force them out as that looks like Curb's next hitless tower to try and even crack even more of a gold lead for this Diabolus team.
That's the crucial thing is Diabolus are really strong just flanking backwards. They have all the slows from the Orianna and the Ezreal and the good kiting. So I feel like MnM, they need to have a flank unless someone from Diabolus steps forwards into a Glacial Prison or into that Fresh Puck. So does make the win conditions a bit harder for MnM. But they are going to try and pressure this bot lane tower, but that means Yorick on the other side of the map just going to take one for himself, and he's actually destroying Mummus, who does ult out, but not healthily. And Kerberos, we said this Yorick was going to be a problem. They wanted the Ryze as the answer. Doesn't look like he's doing his job.
Well, 19 minutes on the clock here. Gold lead is still pretty even though Diabolus definitely have a better control of the map at the moment. I just feel like at any moment, one misplay, one punish could cost either team a massive foothold in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it favors Diabolus if the game keeps going slow, because like Yorick is going to become more and more of a problem in the side lane. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen many Yorick vs Ryze matchups. But we've seen the Yorick just dominate the late in the game it gets, so that's a big concern for me. The other thing is that Chibs doesn't have TP, so it's not like he can really go in the side lane and answer Kairos once the Baron's up. Again, concern. And the engage from MnM isn't actually that good, because the hook is great, but it's slow to land. The Glacial Prison's decent, but again, it's hard to get into the range where you can follow up on it. Like, if you lob one out at a long range, you're likely just to hit Hado, and it's going to do very little. And that's a sort of concern for me. It's not like they have Jarv and Galio, which we've seen have so easy to engage from almost any range. They need Yusa or Krogston to step up. And when Krogston's got Cleanse as well, makes it a bit trickier.
Can see both of these teams playing around the Baron at this point now. Want to get some vision control. Hado just walks over Pinkwood. In comes the true shot. This might be the turn. Hado goes in with the headbutt pulverize. The Lantern does diddly. Squad and Shogun gets a bunch of ghouls thrown onto him. You can see he throws out the box to try and buy some time, and Mummus clears them away as Monkeys launches in to assassinate him out. And Diabolus, that was the punish I was talking about. That was the opening I was talking about. They crack open another turret, and they might just commit for the base.
Yeah, they are getting flanked though. Chibs is here, and this is what I said they needed to do if they're going to have a chance. But with 3 members against 4, they aren't convinced.
Yeah, the Glacial Fissure into the Vanguard's edge as Nolty maybe get caught out. The stun only connects onto Hado. Yusa goes in once again as
we see a tweet flash on the screen.
Blink and you miss it, just like this game.
That's the reading challenge. Can Twitch chat tell us what the tweet said? Probably, because they can go back and watch the VOD.
Press pause.
Yeah, that works too. For now, we see Monkeys pick up a lot of gold, but crucially, Kairos really made a mistake there. He didn't drop the tower aggro and just died to the tower. And yeah, I feel like they might have been able to crack the inhibitor tower if Kairos had stayed alive. So kind of a big mistake there, but you know, happens. Still a good play from Diabolus. They punish Monk and Shogun, who so far this game, they haven't been the sort of hot commodity we saw against Fnatic. Monk been caught out twice now, where he's just been overstepping. That's the issue with the Calista, is that you don't have the free mobility like the Ezreal. You can't just arcane shift away. You have to auto something to get that martial pose. Martial pose. Makes it a bit
Why would it be
trickier.
martial poise?
I don't know.
It's not even a word.
I was testing you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just like my ability to know who's from what team.
Yep. Always trying to put the pressure on you.
Alright, well, Kerber has that Sterix, has that Triforce.
Wow, another Ocean. Yeah, these are not the most impactful dragons, but these teams are basically taking them on the timer as soon as they spawn, so they will contribute to a pretty strong Elder Dragon later on, which no doubt is going to be a pretty hefty objective.
Question is who's going to have control when that comes up? We're still a long way away from that objective.
I mean, absolutely Kairos, because he's going to be on the side lane, just able to push up, and now MnM are taking the opportunity to pressure down bot to push up.
Oh, true shot goes through, the hook is on, Hado gets stunned up, taking a lot of damage, headbutt pulverized onto one, throws in with the Fate's Call, and now holding in fire for the moment. They're looking to engage, the Vanguard's edge is big, miss out on the Glacial Prison, but 2 quick kills have been picked up for MnM, and Yusa's low HP, but Curb is into the fight with the Maiden, and he's out of there.
Yeah, just MnM were decisive in that fight, and Krogston, he just walked the worst way around to get in that fight. Got CC'd for Heavy Mountain. Although he didn't fall, it cost him his front line to keep him alive. Both Monkeys and Hado go down. And now MnM hovering in the Baron area, but I think it would be a bit risky to go for this right now.
They do have a terrifyingly quick Baron.
I don't think Mummus realizes he's on a ward. Just going to hedge your guess. They are heading over to it now.
Spotted out by the Scryers. Krogston, no
Wait,
shockwave available
no,
yet.
why you... They really should not be doing this.
Ooh. I mean, they are trying for it. True shot, rips through, throws down the redemption curve, gets rooted in. Poke from Diabolus. This is this in and out approach. The shockwave lands and Krogston gets himself a killing spree. Now Shogun maybe looking for that hook, but they just say thanks for starting that Baron, mate. And Diabolus are looking to get onto this objective here. Monk healing up with that Blade of the Ruin King. Chibs does not have that Vanguard's edge
Shogun's
available.
on the flank.
Shogun is on that flank. Nulty also available to come in. Has been spotted out. The ball is on. They've got the damage. That's going to be a Glacial Fissure onto one. And Nulty still waiting over the wings. 2k on that Baron. Shogun will go down to Yusa here. Will go down to Krogson as Diabolus are just walking away from the Baron, but Monk actually starting to pop off a little bit, going 1v1 versus Kerberos. Will get taken out though, and in comes the rest of the team. Diabolus only lose one and get the full ace onto MnM.
Crucially, they come out clutch in the end. Kerberos able to finish off Monk, and Monk is able to find the kills at the end. Used to getting that one onto Chibs. Just good play. That's going to lead to Baron. And what did I say? What did I say about MnM? I said it. I said they should not be starting this. They lost way too much HP, and now they've lost the Baron. Momus has TP'd in. I don't think he's going to be able to do much.
Make such a big play here. Tries to get the damage on the curve. Who's able to hold out the ghouls. Do so much damage. Crucial Barrage goes a little bit wide, and Momus does get out alive.
That was a lot from those ghouls, and I mean, we've said it many, many times before. When you have a split pusher, what is the best thing to get? Baron Nashor. So now things are going to get even harder up against this Yorick. Now he's picked up the Raptor Cloak, that extra movement speed next to towers, and that Negatron Cloak. I just feel like Momus can't go near him.
No. He's got the Crystal Scepter, so he has like some kind of kite ability, but
if he gets hit by the goo thing he throws, I think it's
mist.
It's sludge goo. It's sludge.
No, it's I can't remember what it's called. It's something mist, and he throws mist at you. And then the ghouls launch out of the mist.
Sludge, but yeah, I mean, the ghouls launch out. If he hits you with that, I feel like Momus is just doomed. So, gonna have to play really carefully. They've actually sent Aurelia up into the lane that Yorick's in, but I don't think she's gonna fare too great either.
Has got the Titanic. I mean, there's without Baron, there's a lot of wave clear available to MnM. With Baron, it becomes a lot harder because then Chibs has to jump into the wave
to clear it out. Yeah,
basically jump into Diabolus. Can see. Monkeys now has that GA, so pretty lower risk now for jumping into the fights as Yusa just dodging around, and MnM grouping up as 5 members here. Want to try and see if they can find a pick.
I mean, if you're Diabolus, you just say, no, we're not going to fight you 3v5. We're just going to keep our Yorick split pushing.
But this goes back to that kite ability that Diabolus have. They have the ability to just walk away from any of these plays because of the slows they have. They've got the Orianna, they've got the slows from the Ezreal Qs now. It's so hard to find these openings onto Diabolus' members. You go for Haddo, he just pops Unbreakable. You go for Monkeys, he pops GA. You go for Curb, well done. You probably put 3 people to take out Kerberos, and the rest of the team are now pushing into your base.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is the thing, is they're moving as a unit now. They're looking bot, but Kerb is just hammering on this top lane. MnM want to stick together, but this is not what a split push comp's going to do. They're looking for the engage,
that's the face call. They're going in. The Realm Warp's coming up. The team looking to flank. Chibs gets a stun onto one, but Yusa remains untouched. In goes the Vanguard's edge. The Shockwave goes a little bit wide. Doesn't find an opening as Diabolus already got themselves one. Crogson's burning out with the Ignite, and Nulty should be soon to follow. Down goes one member for Diabolus, but it doesn't matter. The True Shot Barrage rips through and curbs into the fight. Nobody is going to remain as MnM fall once again. Diabolus with the full ace.
Yeah, and MnM go for the play they had to make with Yorick knocking on the base. They don't find the fight. They get 2 members, but in the end of this, Diabolus will take the game off this push.
28 minutes on the clock, and Diabolus are looking to knock MnM off the top of our Jenga tower and down to the bottom. They're looking to contest this one more time. And for 4 weeks running, we have a new team sitting at the top of the tower.
Absolutely. It's been chaotic, but it's been fun. And once again, we have a new team to put up on the wall.
Yep. MnM, it was 2 days he remained on that wall. And then Diabolus comes out. It was a day.
A day and a half.
Yeah. They got the points. They're quite happy with that as we slowly...
And Diabolus got more points.
Pan over the Nexus exploding. Hello guys, we're back. Man, what a game. I like, the most exciting point is the fact that 4 weeks and 4 different tower champions now at this point.
Pretty cool.
Great for Diabolus as well, because it actually puts them a lot higher up on the tables. We'll have that table up a little bit later so we can look at where they sit, but this is fantastic here, because now the whole standings have been shaken up, because coming out of week 2 and 3, we were like, oh, it's going to be Fnatic XL show, and then, you know, Enclave step up to the plate, MnM step up to the plate, and finally Diabolus have also joined them up there. And the top 5 teams now in the UK, it's really up in the air who actually is the best one.
Yeah, because I feel like week on week we have, like if you have any tier lists, it just gets switched around consistently. I think I saw someone talking about it, and it's like this player is better than this team's better than this team, but then this team beat this team, so they're all, it just piles on top of each other. And at this point, I feel like anyone can beat anyone, and it just comes down to who has the better week. And right now, it's Diabolus.
Yeah, and it is Diabolus' jungler Monkeys who is going to take the MVP for today's game. This man has been playing very well all day, to be fair.
Yeah,
and this Rek'Sai has been given to him 3 times in a row.
He's shown why the pick is so strong. And there's their shirt up on the wall. They are the Tower Champions.
Big
Devils
fan of their
themselves.
new logo, by the way.
I like it
Big
as well.
fan of it. It's nice. As, King Poro sits up there with them.
I mean, they both got horns, the Devil and the Poro.
Yeah. Like, fantastic show, though, right?
Yeah,
let's just go back to that. I think Diabolus... It was a shaky start, and they played versus Bulldogs, and that was their shakiest game of the day. Then they played versus Enclave. It was closer, but it was still a little shaky. Then they played versus MnM, and it's clean, it's decisive, and it's the growth. It goes back to this point about the team. The growth from Diabolus for the last 4 weeks has been stellar. They've really stepped up.
I think the concern for me was always, you know, they relied on Yusa consistently to carry, but that's just not the case anymore. They've had great games from Monkeys. They've had great games from Kerberos in the split push. Krogson was a monster on that Rise earlier. It just feels like everyone has the potential to carry, and it comes down to who's facilitated by the draft or who they need against that opponent. And that's why I feel like they've been so versatile and able to not only... Because the thing is, if you compare who they've had to beat this week, they had to beat XL in the first game, which is a pretty big ask. And then they had to take down MnM. You know, I mean, it's a given that if you get to the top, you have to take down a lot of teams.
And Enclave, to be fair, as well. They've had quite a few hard
pretty
games.
tricky run.
And it's weird with the hardest game, the game that looked the hardest for them was Bulldogs. I mean...
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's fair. But let's have a little look at that leaderboard and see where all of our teams are sitting coming out of week 4. Fnatic Rising do remain at the top, but they are 1 point ahead of Diabolus, who have gone from 3rd place all the way up. But if you look at the other teams, XL now tied with MnM in 3rd. Enclave on 3 points, though. So even though they've made it up high quite a few times, they need to start punching their way into that Tower Champion if they want to make playoffs.
And the big crucial thing is, because Diabolus are the reigning Tower Champions, they are guaranteed 3 points for next week. So if Fnatic bomb out again, they will fall behind Diabolus. And then it comes to the other teams to see if they can catch up. So right now, yes, Fnatic are on the top as of yet. But Diabolus are definitely going to look to extend that lead, and it's on to the other teams to stop that from happening. Well,
with Monkeys obviously getting MVP, we do want to ask you guys at home over on Twitter at LVPUK who your unsung hero is. So let us know using that hashtag UKLC. The vote will be going up just after the show as well, and then we'll have a vote and we'll reveal that on next week's show, and we'll also reveal it on the weekend as well.
I got to say, for me, it's Krogson. I mean, he's had some great performances. Monkeys has been great, Krogson's been great. It's been like a duo, but there's been some times I've been like, Krogson could have got that one, like on that Rise game. But, you know, make your vote heard. Decide who you think's your unsung hero. And if there are any games that you missed from this week's games, you can actually head over to our YouTube channel, LVP UK. We can catch up on all of the old games from this week, last week, and, I mean, watch yesterday's games. They're the ones you want to watch. Those games were fantastic. They were watch
so
yesterday's
good.
games, then watch today's again, then start at the start, and then go all the way through, and then watch next week. So, you know, a lot to see.
It'll keep you filled until then.
Yeah.
In the meantime, do make sure that you do get in touch with us about all your top plays and everything like that, as we'll be watching on the Twitter. And whoever makes the best comment will not win this Poro. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us here at the UK League Championship. We will see you same time, same place next week. So until then, bye-bye. Have a good week.